Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Brand Whisperer podcast. I'm Bill Wanick. This is episode 2. So let's add this up for a second. Let's do some math, which I hate doing. That's why literally half the reason I became a writer is to get away from numbers. But that's a whole nother story. So I paid roughly $60,000 for my advertising school. And that's where I learned how to think creatively, to come up with ideas. And that was a struggle in itself. It's how I invented mind streaming. It's how I stumbled upon it, sitting in the advertising library by myself for hours, trying to read every book I could on advertising and ideas and marketing. And I stumbled across something that had nothing to do with anything. It was actually an old Freudian writing hack that I developed into the mind streaming that I use to come up with everything that I've come up with. So I spent $60,000 on that, and then I spent about 17 years inside major ad agencies like Ogilvy and Mather, McGarry Bowen, Publicis, Kramer Krasel, Young and Rubicam, learning the real secrets that agencies don't tell you because then agencies just wouldn't exist. So that's around 35,000 hours of writing, concepting, pitching, and building campaigns for million and billion dollar brands like Marvel and Disney and T-Mobile, Wild Turkey, Adidas, Johnsonville, you name it. In the next half an hour, I'm going to give you that entire education for free. I'm going to walk you through the 5 secrets of concepting, not the strategies, that's next episode, but the secrets. And there are many more than 5. We're just going to stick to 5 right now. We're going to talk about some of the hidden stuff that unlocks creativity. Why does this matter? It all relates back to your business that you're starting or rebranding or want to grow, or your personal brand, or your career in marketing. It relates. You need to be creative. The stuff ad schools and agencies make sound like magic really isn't. These are the same 5 things that took me years and a mountain of client feedback, creative reviews, and late night brainstorms to truly understand. Concepting is where it all begins. It's the conception of the idea, where the brand baby is born, as I call it. And AI can't do that. It can help you raise the baby, it can help you feed it, maybe even post cute pictures online, but it can't make the baby, right? Because AI scrapes the internet. It uses what's already made. It uses someone else's baby, right? It takes someone else's baby and changes the hair color and makes the skin darker or makes the eyes a different color, but it's still someone else's baby. It cannot come up with original ideas which are going to make you stand out, which is what you have to do. Otherwise, you are nothing. Without a brand, your business is just a commodity. It's rice. It's iron ore. Nobody cares about that. Why? Because there's no heart in it. It takes heart, intuition, and a little bit of madness to come up with an idea. So let's dig in. Here are the 5 secrets of concepting that will make you a better creator, a better brand builder, and a better thinker. Maybe even a better person. That's to be seen. Hey, quick question. Would you like me to whisper to your brand? I'm serious. On the Brand Whisperer podcast, I'm looking for real businesses, real people who want to see how a creative director would build their brand right here on the show. Maybe your business is great, but your brand doesn't say it yet. Maybe you've got the story, you just don't know how to tell it. That's where I come in. Drop a comment below. Tell me what your business is, what you do, and what you wish people understood about it. And if there's someone you know who has a great business that deserves a brand whisper, tag them below too. I might pick theirs or yours next. Subscribe, comment, and let's make your brand impossible to ignore. Secret 1, kill your inner critic. Your first idea is never the problem. It's that you kill it too soon. There's something that I like to call the 2-second rule. That's how long the analytical side of your brain takes to kill an idea when you have it. Literally. That's why mind streaming works, the method I talked about earlier. It suspends that judgment. It keeps you in a period of raw creation without your own brain coming in and wondering where that idea came from or what someone else is going to think about it or the minutia of it, when you should just be letting it breathe and letting it grow. So when you let an idea wander, it becomes something bigger. Quick story, there's a company that I'm working with called Tony's Lasagna. And this guy, Tony, makes the best lasagna you've ever had. he only serves one item, lasagna, and it's worth every second of it. So I'm concepting to come up with an idea for his brand. How does it not just look like any other lasagna brand, because it doesn't taste like any other lasagna? So I did a mind stream on it. And in that, I discovered that Tony's lasagna is so good. Who else has good lasagna? Moms, right? Everyone's mom's lasagna is everyone's favorite. You'll love your mom's lasagna. That's until you have Tony's lasagna. What if that was a campaign? What if that was an idea that we could run with? So Tony's lasagna is every mom's worst nightmare, because after you have Tony's lasagna, your mom's lasagna becomes number 2 instead of number 1. And there's nothing that breaks mom's heart more than you not thinking she's the best. So that became the campaign. The tagline literally was Tony's lasagna, the tagline, every mom's worst nightmare. And we have a series, he has a social series that I concepted for him, where it's a guy inside enjoying a big slice of Tony's lasagna, and outside you see, standing in the rain, peeking in the window, is his mom, teary-eyed. Another one is his mother doing his laundry, and she finds a Tony's lasagna receipt in his pants, every mom's worst nightmare. Another one we have is the public reaction to Tony's lasagna. You have on one side Mike Webster and looking happy as he eats this delicious lasagna, and the other side, Mike Webster's mom, not looking happy at all. Let's take it farther. How do we blow this out more? Okay, so now we are doing, what if we had a bunch of Yelp reviews about it, but not 4-star Yelp reviews, 1-star Yelp reviews that are all from moms. Not because they hate the lasagna, but because they hate how their lasagna is now number 2. We go to farmers markets and we're serving little chunks of lasagna, and we have moms with protest signs circling his table. Instead of me overanalyzing this whole it's better than mom's lasagna, I just kept going with it. I kept my mind in a state of constant thinking. And that's through the mind streaming exercise. But you can just do this too if you practice letting ideas go. It's almost like staying in the dream. So don't edit yourself. Just let yourself keep thinking. Don't second guess yourself. It doesn't sound stupid. It doesn't sound weird. It's not too crazy. It's not too lame. Just let yourself keep thinking. What did Tony think? He absolutely loves it. Is he getting orders? Absolutely. Try this for yourself. Write 10 bad ideas in 1 minute. Don't judge them. And the one you don't overthink, that's your seed. That's going to be your best idea. Secret 2, emotion first, logic later. People buy with their gut. People buy with their gut, and they justify with their brain. Great ideas start as feelings, not strategies. Emotion gives the concept its hook. Logic gives it legs. Emotion gives the concept its hook. Logic gives it legs. That works for everything from your social media posts to your YouTube videos to your TV commercials to radio campaigns to website messaging. Emotion gives the concept its hook. Logic gives its legs. Where does emotion come in? Look at Wild Turkey. That's raw emotion. That's truth. How I would write that to keep in that tone of raw and true and never tamed is after every single line I would write, I would say F yeah after every line. And if I write a line or write something for it and I couldn't naturally say F yeah right afterwards, it wasn't the right tone. I have to go harder. I needed more emotion. Huggies, warmth, vulnerability, right? Why? Because parents, especially new parents, are feeling vulnerable about what they're doing. Maybe first-time parents, they want to have a diaper that they're not going to have to worry about blowouts and things like that, so you have to have warmth and vulnerability. Adidas Golf, confidence, movement. Emotion can win over popularity anytime. Perfect example of that, when the Man of Steel movie came out, they did a partnership with Sears. And this was not only a Sears Man of Steel partnership, it was also for Father's Day. This was a huge deal at our agency. Every single team, including my bosses, agency owners, everybody else, everybody wanted to be the one that sold the commercial that got made for the new Man of Steel movie, right? Who wouldn't want to be the guy that sells Superman? We sat down, each of us individually, and started writing scripts, writing concepts, writing ideas. And where did we go to present these? We didn't just go to Sears. We went to Zack Snyder himself. So we went to Warner Brothers on the lot. Super intimidating, right? You walk in the lobby, you walk through all the 300 memorabilia he's got going on, stuff from every movie that he's got happening, The Watchmen. And you get in there and you're at this huge table with Zack Snyder and all the heads of Warner Brothers, and everybody starts reading their commercials. And what happened was everybody else came into the commercial that was starring Superman. Every single one of them. Superman lands by a washing machine. Superman's in the store. Superman's doing this. Superman's doing that. And it seems logical, right? Put Superman in it. But I thought the important thing here isn't Superman, it's Father's Day. That's where the emotion comes from. Because when you think about it, Superman isn't just a superhero. Superman isn't the main character. Fathers are. Why? Because it's not about Superman. It's about Dad, who is every kid's Superman. A dad is every little boy's and every little girl's first superhero. That's the emotion. That's the hook. And then the logic could give it legs. So I wrote a commercial without the actual Superman character in it whatsoever. It's just a bunch of scenes of dads doing things with their family and around the house that could seem heroic. And I even talked about how Dad wasn't Superman, how he doesn't have superhuman strength, how he doesn't have heat vision, how he can't fly. He's just super because he's my dad. And that emotion not only convinced Zack Snyder to buy that commercial over everyone else's, he actually offered to direct it, which I was talked out of by the studio heads because it's Zack Snyder. But the main point is I led with the emotion. And the results? The history of Sears, which has been around for well over 150 years now, it was the second best performing Father's Day they've ever had because of that commercial and that campaign. Fun fact, I also have the number one most performing Father's Day that they've ever have, and that was a different commercial, which is another story. But you lead with emotion, it's effective, it's going to get you sales, it's going to get people to pay attention. Hey, sorry to interrupt your podcast for a second, but I've got to tell you about something that's going to help you take what you're hearing even further. It's called the Brand Your Own Business Academy. It's where I teach business owners and creatives how to build their brand, the same way I've done for brands like Marvel, Disney, T-Mobile, and Wild Turkey without spending thousands on an ad agency. Inside, you'll learn my mind streaming method, the creative directory, as we talk about all the time on the show here, and how to use AI to bring all your ideas to life fast. So to find out more and get a free gift, click the link in the YouTube description or the show notes below. All right, now back to the show. Secret number 3, steal like a strategist, right? Going back to the whole baby parents thing, every idea has parents, so find yours. Creative pros don't invent, we combine. Pattern recognition is the real secret to coming up with a lot of ideas, because the trick isn't stealing, it's recontextualizing. Right? For example, when I was at Kramer Kress, I had to do an entire campaign for Echo Power Equipment, and they make chainsaws, yard stuff, weed whackers, all that good stuff, leaf blowers, things like that. And they wanted something that was really impactful. And in the brief, they wanted to tackle people that have been avoiding cleaning up their yards, because it's something, I guess, in research shows that especially men, they'll avoid those tree branches down in their yard, that dead tree, those overgrown bushes. They'll just tend to ignore them instead of doing them. Well, there were a bunch of teams put on this because it's a big TV campaign, and we started thinking about it. And I came up with the idea. I realized that they avoid it. It's also like it's taunting them. You know, they have to look at that every day, and they kind of shy away from it. They have to walk by that broken branch every day or that overgrown bush, and it's almost like it's taunting them. And this equipment is so easy to use, and it's so effective that it'll get your backyard to stop taunting you because you'll take care of it. So backyards don't talk. So let's keep thinking about this. What if there was something in your backyard that would talk, that would taunt you? Okay, what would be in your backyard? Some kind of animal or rabbit? No, that's just a little bit too weird. But what lives in dead, gross things? Trolls. Trolls live under bridges, and trolls live in what I would think is nasty areas. So what if we made some trolls? Okay, so let's make these trolls that taunt you. Okay, now, so how am I going to make these trolls? And my strategy brain was thinking, what are the 3 biggest villains that I know of? The 3, like, for me, that are really effective bad guys. And I thought of back to Superman, the original Superman movie, part 2, General Zod. Remember General Zod, who is like my favorite villain? There was General Zod. There was the big guy that didn't say anything. He was like the muscle, and then the sultry woman that was snarky. So let's make some trolls, but let's model them after those three characters. So that's what we did. Had some artists create these trolls, and that sold. Why? Because people could connect with that pattern that worked before. That's how I sold it. I sold them as just like the characters from that movie. I wasn't stealing at all. I was recontextualizing. We not only made the TV commercials, but they loved it so much that the client literally made these 3 troll suits and had people in them running around the Final Four games, the NCAA Final Four, plus a whole social campaigns, billboards, everything. And it was just a big hit. But it's all because I thought like a strategist, and I found something else that worked, and I recontextualized it. That is secret number 3. To continue with the superpower theme, I borrowed the emotion, not the cape. So now ask yourself this. So when you're thinking of ideas, ask yourself, what if you crossed an idea that exists with a different tone? That's where the originality lives. Okay? Secret 4, the power of what if. The 2 most powerful words in creativity, what if? What if we did this? What if we did that? What if we made it bigger? What if we made it smaller? What if it sounded like this? I'm telling you, in concepting, I don't know, if I had $1 for every time I said what if in my 17 years in advertising, I would be a rich fellow. The what if is also the heart of the create if directory. And that's something that I put together over my 17 years. It's a list of what ifs, and I've been using these to teach my employees, like the creatives that I lead. I've been compiling all these what ifs. What if the product was a person? What if the brand had a soundtrack? What if their story was flipped upside down? What if you turned the positive aspect of the product into a negative? What if you made something huge? What if you made something small? These are just little prompts to put in your head, not to put in AI, but to put in your head when thinking about an idea. So I started, and these worked. So I started collecting them, and over the years, I've got 220 of them, and I created the Create If directory, and it's amazing. That being said, asking yourself what if is the ultimate way to start thinking of ideas. Let's try one. Let's take a coffee mug. What if we made the parts smaller? What if the coffee mug was so small, like it wasn't like an espresso, it was just like the tiniest little coffee mug ever? What is that saying? Is that saying that is that coffee so strong that's all you'll need to get your jolt, right? Or what if we make it huge? What if the mug is massive and big enough to where we can sit in it, almost like a hot tub. We can sit in it. Or this coffee is so smooth that it'll keep you awake, but it'll let you just relax your way into your day. Wouldn't it be great to relax your way into your day? And what if we have lightning bolts hitting the coffee, right? What if the coffee itself electrocuted you as you drank it, right? Or if a coffee is super, super smooth. What if the coffee is so sophisticated that as you drank it, your pinky slowly went out, right? What if the coffee's too good? What if the coffee's so good that it's the best part of your day? So everything after this coffee is just not going to be good, or everything you taste after that coffee is not going to be good. So it's so good that it's going to ruin, it doesn't matter what it is. Cheesecake tastes like cardboard. Pizza tastes like paper. So see what I'm doing here? See what you're doing? We're concepting. This is concepting. It's not magic. It's just repetition. Secret number 5, finish ugly. Perfection kills momentum, y'all. Every great idea starts ugly. Every great idea starts as an ugly duckling. The faster you get it out, the faster you can refine it. Creatives who wait for the perfect idea never make anything. And the same with you. If you just keep waiting for what you think is a perfect thought or a perfect thing or a yeah right now to come to your head, you're never going to make anything. Yes, it will happen. Sometimes you just have an idea and you're like, yep. But a lot of times it doesn't start like that. One of my favorite campaigns started as a scribble on a napkin. It was for a company that started getting curbside pickup. And it was like when curbside pickup just started. Okay. And I was like, okay, it's whatever. But all I could think of was, at first, all I could think of was a dad maybe like covering his tracks when he broke a mug. Who cares? His dad breaks a mug at his house. He doesn't want his wife to find out. Not only is that not that interesting, it makes the wife look mean. We don't want to do that. Like, why would this wife have such a freak out over a mug? Okay, so that's where we started, and it's ugly, but I kept thinking about it. So I was like, okay, how do we up this? All right, so maybe dad didn't break a mug. Maybe he broke like the TV. Okay, maybe he broke like a coffee pot. Maybe he broke something big. Okay, so now we don't want the dad to look like such a doofus that he's just being that clumsy. Okay, wait a minute. What if it's not dad? What if it's dog? What if it's a dog running around the house? Okay, people love dogs. Dogs doing things. That's fun. But why would this dog, is there something wrong with this dog that is just running around bumping into things? Like, all right, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so there's a couple dogs, and what's interesting, let's make one dog really little, one dog really big. And maybe they live together and they're buddies. But okay, now maybe one dog's got something the other dog wants, and big dog starts chasing him. Okay, now the game is on. All right, we have a chase in the house. House chase, dogs, they're running around. The little dog gets on the counter and knocks over the coffee pot. Uh-oh, the big dog's chasing him. He bumps into the end table and knocks down a plant. Trouble. They're going back. Now they're in the middle of the living room and they're pulling on this thing that they both want, and they hit the TV. Boom, TV falls down. That's the final straw. Crap. Now these dogs need curbside pickup. Does that seem crazy? Yeah, who cares? Let's get them. We cut to this minivan pulling out of the driveway, rounding a corner. It's flying through the air, right? And it lands at the store, gets all the stuff it broke, put inside of it, TV, vases, coffee pot, all put inside by the curbside pickup person. He shuts it, goes to the front of the car, tells them they're good to go, and realizes there's two dogs driving the car. What? Yeah, that's crazy. It's not ugly. It's awesome, right? It's a whole beautiful linear story that you can follow along with and enjoy the journey on. And since it was a chase, let's use Dukes of Hazzard music, right? So it's a complete picture. But that all started from an ugly little idea. Don't be afraid of the ugly. Embrace your ugly. Y'all embrace the Uggs. Ugly, messy, brilliant. Here we go. 5 secrets of concepting. The same knowledge that cost me 60 grand and 17 years, you just got in under 40 minutes. Think about that. Decades of creative development, thousands of campaigns, millions of dollars in lessons, condensed into something you can start using right now, and I hope you do. We live in the best time ever for anybody with a business or creators. AI gives you the tools. Canva gives you the canvas. Chat gives you the words. But the ideas, man. The spark, bro, that still comes from you. And that's the one thing you can't outsource. And that's what I teach in my Brand Your Own Business Academy. It's everything I've learned about creative concepting and branding so you can skip the 17 years and start creating like an ad pro tomorrow. So if you want to see what that looks like, head to unlockthebrand.com. And even if you don't, promise me this. Don't chase perfection. Don't copy trends. Don't wait for permission. Just start. Because the second you start concepting, your brand stops whispering and starts being heard. I'm Bill Wanek, and this is The Brand Whisperer. I'll see you again.